Hello, students. Look carefully at this picture first, and then let me ask you some questions related to it. Oh, sorry. Wait, you didn't see anything? Okay, can you see the picture now? How important light is for us to see anything around us. So, now, how many colors do you see in this picture? Yellow, red, green, brown, and maybe many others. How many objects can you see in this picture? Trees, flowers, leaves, maybe benches and lampposts, isn't it? Yes. Now let me ask you, how did you see this picture and recognize the colors in it? Or how did you recognize the objects in it? You'll answer me, it's simple, of course, with our eye. But it's not that simple, kids. Image formation by the eye is as complex as understanding how the brain thinks so fast. But don't worry, we won't make it that complex. In fact, let me make it simple for you. So let us today learn about the human eye and its structure. The human eye is one of the most valuable and sensitive sense organs. It works just like a digital camera. But before understanding more about eye, recall how a camera works. Well, we have already seen this in detail, but let's quickly recall it. You have already seen in your lower standards that when light falls on any object, it absorbs some amount of rays and reflects the rest of the light rays. This reflected light reaches the lens of the camera, which forms the image of this object. Now, the same system of camera is in the eye. The eye also collects the reflected light from the object and forms its image. Well, just like camera, the lens is there to collect and reflect all the light. So the first thing to always remember is that only when reflected light from any object reaches our eye, we can see it. It is interesting to note that if an object reflects all the light, it will look white to us. And if it absorbs all the light, that is, reflects none, it will appear black to us. And what about colored objects? In this case, if an object reflects green light, we perceive it as green. If it reflects yellow, we will see it as yellow. All the rest of the colors are absorbed by the objects. The same thing happens when we see any object. The reflected light from the object reaches our eye. Now the question is, which part of the eye receives it first? To answer this, we will have to understand the structure of the eye. So let's see it. This white part that you can see here is called the cornea. It is a bulge on the front of the surface of the eyeball. Yes, this whole structure is called an eyeball. It's spherical with a diameter of about 2.3 centimeter. The light that enters the eyeball first strikes the transparent cornea. Yes, transparent because it allows light to enter inside the eye. Cornea also has a lot of blood vessels throughout its surface. This makes it a highly sensitive part of the eye. Thus, the slightest injury here generates a lot of pain in the cornea. Well, this is important for defense point of view as well. Also, it makes the eye aware of any danger or injury. Thus, cornea serves to protect the entire eye. Its refractive index is 1.37. Hold on, what is refractive index? We know that light bends when it travels from one medium to another. This is because the speed changes when it enters another medium. And the speed changes due to the density of the medium. Thus, the refractive index is a value calculated from the ratio of the speed of light in a vacuum to that in a second medium of the greater density. Or it is a measure of the bending of a ray of light when passing from one medium into another. Simply put, It is the value that tells us how much the light is bent from its path or refracted when entering a material. Okay, coming back to the eye. If you see here, the refractive index of air is 1 and that of the cornea is 1.37, which is approximately 1.4. Can you see? There is a big difference in the refractive indices of air and cornea. As a result, light bends as it travels from the air to the eye. Since the difference in the refractive index is very significant, the refraction of light is also much more here. From here, light rays enter the transparent fluid called aqueous humor, which is present between the cornea and pupil. Its refractive index is 1.33. It is also called the primary chamber. Its main objective is to refract the light into pupil. Now light enters through the small hole called pupil. Yes, the pupil is a space or hole in the center of the eyeball. It is a part of the disc that you see here. A pupil can change its size to regulate the amount of light entering the eye. It is important because this saves our retina from getting damaged by high intensity of light. So now you might be thinking, how is pupil able to change its size? Think about it, and we will see you in the next video.